What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to go ahead and cover leveling today. This is something that's been requested as the launch Classic is coming up very soon. So wanted to go ahead and cover some basics, some tips and tricks that I think are helpful for leveling. Some other guides out there I've seen have been pretty good, but a couple inaccuracies here and there. So I just wanted to go ahead and make sure we get you guys moving in the right direction for leveling a paladin. So here we go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start off with the race. So you're sitting here at the character screen, you're trying to decide exactly what you want to play, and you got two options. You got the humans and you have the dwarves. So each have their own benefits. So I'm going to go ahead and break these down for you one by one, just so that you have an idea of what can work for you. So we'll start with the dwarves. The dwarves are probably the best for PvP, I would say. They have stone form, which is amazing cooldown. It is gonna make you immune to bleed, poison, and disease, and also give you a 10% armor bonus. So this is very handy for paladins. A lot of people think, oh, well, you have cleanse, so why would you really need that? So say, you bop yourself to avoid damage from a rogue. You put up stone form, that rogue can't blind you. If you're stuck in a blind, you can't cleanse the blind, right? So that's one of the major benefits of having that, as well as the immunity to bleed. This comes in handy, if a rogue's trying to bleed you out, or a feral druid, they pop up their all their ruptures and everything, and you sit there, you go boom, and you are immune to bleed. So immediately reduces the damage by a lot. Stoneform can actually come in handy in some PvE circumstances as well. There are a couple fights where you're going to get a bleed on you or a poison, and it's very nice to be able to get that off you immediately, which is that one cooldown. Make you immune to it for a little while as well. Um, Dwarfs also have a bonus in gun skill. This doesn't affect paladins at all. You also get a frost resistance bonus by 10. This is not too bad. This comes in handy later on when you're fighting, frost mages, shamans with their frost shocks. Naxxramas has a couple fights where you need frost resistance. It's very important. And then your last racial ability is going to be treasure finding. This is just something kind of fun to have, being able to track down hidden chests inside caves, etc. It's just a kind of a fun ability. Nothing too in particular that's super strong about that. All right, and now for the humans, I would say these are preferable for PVE. You have perception, which is a decent ability. You can help you pull out some rogues or feral druids from stealth. It doesn't I would say, it's okay. It's not the best, but honestly, sometimes if you pop perception and you're able to pull a rogue out of stealth, keep them from opening up on you, this can be super handy. So, yeah, I think it has its spots, but not necessarily anything too amazing. From there, we're going to move down to diplomacy. So diplomacy actually gets 5% bonus rep. This is actually pretty handy. So as you complete quests or you kill mobs, you're going to get a little bit of extra bonus rep. So it gets you towards your goals faster, whether you're trying to buy a certain item from a rep vendor or you're just trying to buy maybe a new mount. Maybe you want to get a tiger mount from the night elves. That will help you get there a little bit quicker. And then we'll talk about, let's see, human spirit. So 5% increased spirit. This is actually pretty handy for leveling and for healing. It's not necessarily the best stat to have, but just a little bit of bonus spirit, you'll notice your health's going to regen a little bit quicker than others and can keep you moving. So and then the amazing part about a human for PvE is going to be the sword and mace skill. You get +5 in swords, maces, both one-hander and two-hander, and this is literally probably one of the best stats that you can have. So, weapon skill, for people who don't know, it reduces your chance to be uh, parry, dodged, or miss, or it also reduces, I think, glancing blows as well. So having +5 on that will basically reduce the amount of hit chance you're going to need. So far, I think it's confirmed that it gives you about 3% ish hit rating. So you stack that up on top of your precision talent for another 3% there. You only need a little bit of extra hit rating from your items, and you're already covered. So that's why humans are really strong for PvE. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my progression for my talents that I'll be running. I'll show you different options. So if you decide you want to do some AoE leveling or holy leveling or retribution leveling, I'll give you all the options right here for you. So starting off with what I think everyone should probably do for leveling is just go full retribution. This is going to give you the most damage, boast the best, like single person leveling. However, if you want to do some duo leveling, maybe group leveling, you're going to do some dungeon runs, holy or protection might not be a bad option for you. So going to go ahead and start off with retribution. I pick up 5 points for improved blessing of might. That's 20% increased attack power right there. Then from here you can either go 5 into deflection if you're doing solo leveling. This is going to be very, very handy. If not, maybe improve judgment just to increase your DPS a little bit. However, I'm just going to go 5 out of 5 deflection. I'm going to go seal a command. Going to go 2 points into pursuit of justice for the movement speed. Then go into the crit chance. Going to go ahead and max that out right away. Then from there, I'm going to move back up, improve judgment. Going to get sanctity aura. Going to get two-hand weapon specialization. And then from there, we can either put points into benediction, improve Sealer Crusader, vindication, or eye for an eye. Eye for an eye is kind of a PvP thing. Vindication is not that strong until later down the road. And then benediction just reduces the mana cost, so a little bit more efficiency. So I kind of tend to aim for that. I just like to be efficient as I level, try to keep moving. So then from there, I'm going to go ahead and pick up points into vengeance and then repentance. So there you go. There's a full ret tree, and then moving down, you can either choose to go down the holy tree or the protection tree. I personally am going to go down the protection tree to pick up precision early on. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and pick up redoubt. I think improved devotion aura isn't strong enough, so I will go redoubt there. 3 points into precision. And then once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the holy tree. So I'm going to go ahead and get 5 points of divine strength. I'm going to go ahead and get 5 points into divine intellect, and then get my consecration. And so we got 1 point left. So this is where you can kind of choose where you want to do with it. You could put it into improved lay on hands, maybe guardian's favor. Yeah, so I personally probably going to go, let's see, maybe improved lay on hands. Just a little bit off your cooldown, just, have it up more often for you. So there we go. That's a pretty standard ret leveling build for you. This is going to be the best for single person leveling. So I'm going to go ahead and now cover protection leveling. So this is something that I think you should pick up later down the road, maybe like level 40 plus. I don't think it's strong enough to do on its own without the right kind of setup here. So we're going to go ahead and pick up redoubt to start off with. Going to get precision for that hit chance, and then we're going to go into toughness for some increased armor. Pick up that blessing of kings for when we're in groups, and then here's where you can make a choice. So I like to go improve righteous fury just for tanking, so I can get in those 5 bans and not have much of a problem. Then I'm going to go into anticipation, 1 point there. Going to get improved hammer of justice. Then we get a couple more points into anticipation. Get a blessing of sanctuary. I'm going to go ahead and pick up 5 points of reckoning, 4 points of one-hand weapon specialization, and then holy shield. So this is why I think you should wait till 40 if you're going to try to do some AoE leveling, is for the holy shield. It is a mana intensive spell. However, I think it outweighs if you were to try to go consecration AoE leveling. Consecration just takes so much mana that I just don't think it justifies the mana cost. Like the damage just doesn't do enough. Like it's not quite there. However, with Holy Shield, this increases your chance to block as well as deals damage. So essentially, reducing your damage and dealing damage at the same time. And plus, it gives you a nice bonus threat when you block an attack with this holy damage. So when you're leveling in a dungeon, this will be super helpful for you to keep aggro. So once I have those points there, I'm going to go up back into the holy tree to pick up that consecration for later on for leveling. So I'm going to go ahead and get divine strength, 5 points. And then from here, I like to pick up improved seal of righteousness just to have a little bit of extra damage on that. It's a decent choice. You can also just go 5 points in divine intellect if you'd like. And then from here we go consecration. And then we have some extra points here. So healing light's actually pretty strong because this 12% improved heals is off your base heal. So it's going to give you just as much healing as if you were like a full-on holy paladin. And then, so you can either choose to pick up that. You can go improve lay on hands. You have a couple different options. I personally like to go down into the ret tree. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up benediction for reduced mana cost. And then I'm going to go into 5 points excuse me, 4 points deflection. There we go. So I like the parry chance. It's just I think it's overall very strong. Sometimes you can do this as well. You can go 2 points judgment, 2 points parry. This is nice just for the lower cooldown on your judgment when you're tanking. Those judgments are sort of like your quote unquote pseudo taunt. That's going to be the best you're going to get for a taunt as a prop paladin. So that's something you can do as well. All right, and then we'll talk about holy leveling. So holy leveling, I only suggest if you're going to be leveling with a group. Other than that, you're just not going to have enough damage to level on your own. If you're gonna do it in a group, I mean, honestly, what I would do if I was you guys and you really were hard set on healing, I would still just go down the retribution tree or still go down the protection tree. Once you're later down the road, just because you can heal. All you have to do is grab a couple pieces of intellect gear, anything with any mana per 5 or healing, and you can heal just fine. You'll be okay. Trust me. But if you really are hard stuck on wanting to go holy, here you go. I'll show you a little build for you. If you have a group with you all the time and you're just like, I'm gonna just sit here healing dungeons for my group until I hit level 60, this is something you can do. You go 5 points divine intellect, 5 points spiritual focus, pick up consecration just for the AoE. If you're doing dungeon leveling, this comes in handy for AoEing groups down. Healing light, and then we can go into improved lay on hands a point. 5 points illumination. We're gonna get divine favor. Then I'm gonna go 2 points blessing of wisdom. I'm going to get another point into improved lay on hands. And then from here, you have a couple different choices. You can either go lasting judgment, unyielding faith, or some points into divine strength. I personally would probably go lasting judgment, just so that you don't have to be judging super super often. So we go 5 points into 5% crit for your holy spells. This is amazing for healing. And then we have holy shock right here. So I personally don't like to pick up Holy Shock if I'm leveling like this. It costs too much money. Sorry, not too much money. It costs too much mana. So I would leave out on that one. And this is what I do. So from here, you're going to go down into the protection tree. Going to go ahead and pick up Redoubt, pick up Precision, pick up Guardian's Favor. Guardian's Favor. We're going to go ahead and pick Blessing of Kings. And then we have some extra points here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into Toughness just to be a little bit tankier. Then we have improved Hammer of Justice, improved concentration aura. This is amazing for healer, and then put a point into Blessing of Sanctuary. So there's a full healing build for you. If that's what you want to do as you level up, it's an option. I probably wouldn't suggest it, but I've been getting questions on how to level as holy, and I guess this would be a way to do it. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about rotation. This is something that I see people get kind of messed up a lot. They think, it looks on pen and paper, you're like, oh, hey, like Judgment of the Crusader, I'm going to judge that first. That increases my holy damage. And now I'm going to use my Seal of Command to do, even more damage. But, however, it doesn't necessarily work like that. So it does give you that bonus damage. However, you are better off just immediately judging your command and looking for a crit to get vengeance up. And most of these fights are going to last that long in between mobs. So having that Seal of Crusader up I'm sorry, Judgment of the Crusader up on the mob, you're not going to actually get that much bonus for it to make up for the time that you're killing the mob. You do want to judge Judgment of the Crusader, however, on, say you're fighting a boss or a rare mob who's got a bit more health, it's going to take a little bit longer to kill. That's when you want to go ahead and put that up on there for you. And then honestly, a lot of the times, just to keep moving, sometimes I'll judge wisdom, I'll judge light to try to balance my health out and then just keep my seal command up just for the damage. But that's something that I like to weave in there here and there. Like, so if my mana is getting about 50%, I don't want to stop to drink. I can run up to a mob, judge wisdom, and then start getting some auto attacks in. That'll give me a little bit of mana regen just while I'm fighting that mob. That's as well as adding your, blessing of wisdom. You can weave that in and out of, like, instead of just having might up constantly. You're moving between mobs. You don't want to stop to drink. Throw up wisdom. Next mob you fight, judgment of wisdom, and then use your seal of command again. So that'll just get your mana moving back up a little bit, and then keep you from having to stop to drink all the time. All right, so here's some basic tips for leveling. Speaking of mana, you really want to find a mage buddy, or at least when you're in a major city, ask a mage to make you some water. Having a mage make you water can save you a lot of money. Even if you give them a small tip, that's going to be super, super impactful. If you go through the game just buying water off of vendors, you're going to spend a lot of money right there. And you really want to get your mount when you're level 60. I know many people are saying that they want to wait for the the Paladin quest chain to come out so that you can get your charger. I know it's an amazing looking badass mount. However, you want to probably just get it quicker than that. As soon as you get your epic mount, you're going to be able to do everything faster. Quests, dungeons, like getting to dungeons, everything, like getting to wherever you need to go is just going to be a way, 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 way faster. So, I highly suggest doing that, as well as some other like, uh, you know, combat related benefits to having a regular mount versus the charger mount. The charger mount is a spell. It does cost mana, so that messes up the rule of five. So if you cast that, it stops your mana regen for a little bit. Say a mage runs up and counterspells you as you're casting your mount. Boom, you're locked out of your spells for a while, so that's never good. But yeah, I mean, I do love the charger mount. It is amazing looking. However, when Classic launches, and if I happen to get up to 60 quick enough, and then I'll grab, probably just a regular mount. But that being said, also another tip for saving money would be to pick up skinning as you level. Skinning is a really easy profession to level up. All you have to do is skin the beast that you're killing, and as you level, trust me, you're going to be killing a lot of beasts. So that's just an easy way to make money. You can actually just vendor the skins. That's something that I always tend to do instead of trying to put them on the auction house to sell them. Think about it, there's going to be thousands of people leveling all at the same time, and probably a ton of them are going to pick up skinning just because of the same effect. And honestly, putting it on the auction house, you're not going to make that much extra money over just vendoring it. A lot of times, I was actually looking at it was one of the servers I played on, and I looked in the auction house for the prices of skins, and someone was auctioning them for cheaper than the vendor price. So just take note, make sure that you look how much they vendor for, and then, make sure you're getting your money's worth. So another tip would be to pick up every item that you can find, and while you're at it, make bank alts. Bank alts are super helpful to have. What I highly suggest is to make a couple different bank alts, some different names. Like, I don't know, for me, I'd call it, Milloh skinning, Milloh enchanting, Milloh whatever, and then as you're leveling up, oh, I got this item that I don't necessarily want to vendor. I don't want to have to run back to a major city to put it in a bank or anything. You can just mail it over to an alt. And the thing with the alts is you don't even have to log into them right away. You can just mail it to them, as you're leveling. Okay, now you have some downtime. You want to hop over and grab that alt. You can log in, run over to the mailbox, pick up the item you're looking for, and boom, it's basically essentially, free bag space. So another tip that I would suggest is you don't have to learn every single spell. This is something that people who might be newer to Classic are kind of unaware of. Your spells cost a lot of money to learn. So currently in the game, as you level up, you just automatically get free abilities. So in Classic, every 2 levels, you will learn a couple new abilities or so, and they actually cost a good chunk of money. And so, money is very important in Classic. So you don't want to be spending it all on some abilities that you might not even use. Like, for example, for a Paladin, at some point you get turn undead, which is a decent spell for later on down the road, but early on you probably don't need to have it. It's okay, like, sure, you can fear an undead mob, but is it better to get your higher rank of a judgment or of a seal than to have turn undead? Most likely. So yeah, just take note, just look at your abilities, try to plan out, okay, like, do I have money to pick this up? Like, just try to plan accordingly to what you want to actually gather. Because repair costs are a thing. You're going to want to save money. Like your mount's very important to have, your epic mount. Just having money to, buy food or water if you have to is very important. And getting those main abilities that you want to level up are going to be way more worth it than, just having to spend your money on that kind of stuff. All right. So another thing that I've been hearing is that dungeon leveling is not worth it. So from the beta, it looks like it is worth it. So on private servers, it looks like a lot of people were trying dungeon leveling, and it just wasn't cutting it for them. So I think that you should do dungeons, honestly. I've always done dungeons as I leveled up, and sometimes it can slow down your leveling process if like maybe you have a group that's struggling to get through something. But honestly, in my opinion, getting some of those quests done from the dungeons, picking up items off of bosses that like can really help your leveling process afterwards. Like if you're solo leveling, this can be super helpful to get. Like for example, you can do was it Razorfin Crawl that has the Corpse Maker. It's like a level 29, 30 axe or whatever that is a very strong two-hander that you could pick up. Early on, if you do that dungeon, you can grab that axe, and you're going to be very happy once you have it. So, there's little tips and tricks like that that I highly suggest to do. Okay, guys, that's just a quick and dirty leveling guide for Rep Paladins. Pretty straightforward. Wanted to make it simple and easy for you guys. But thanks so much for liking, subscribing. If you want more classic WoW content or gaming content in general, I'm trying to grow the channel, so I really, really appreciate it, guys. So thank you again, and have a good one.